why should we worry about it? Because if we don't raise the $20 each way, the state's going to make it up with, of course, with our work coming up with our matching funds. So that's the big key, and we're willing to do that. And so many of them, like you talked about, they're not willing to go out, and that's what it's going to take. And those who are interested in what we do, that's what they're going to have to be sold on, is that you can't sit on your duff and expect to have a transportation system like we've got.
How many total vehicles?
Is it 8 total, 7 vans?
We have 7 vans and 1 bus.
1 bus.
And we currently, just through our grant, we just currently received 2 brand new 2015 handicap accessible vans. So
you have a driver for each of those vehicles.
we have 14 drivers total.
Yes.
Switch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we have 3 volunteer drivers in Mitchell County, and I'm not sure in the other 2 counties.
Right.
And I know we have some volunteer drivers.
We do.
Both. The volunteers don't get paid. The other 14 all get paid. None of them work full time. We have 2 dispatchers and our new transportation coordinator. So.
I have a question for Glenn. Glenn, do you have any reservations or concerns about getting the $3,000 in our budget?
No, not at all.
I'd just like to say I fully support you guys. I think you did a great job.
We thank you very much. This is the letter of support that you came up with on a previous year, and I'll just give this to Mandy so that she can make up the appropriate one for this year.
We'd like to thank you again, and we'll look forward to coming back next year and visiting with you and sharing our growth, because we're definitely planning on that. So.
Good job.
Well, thank you for coming in, and for me, it's a real eye-opener. I know you was providing a service, but not to this magnitude. That's a lot of miles.
When you hear that scream in the next couple of months, it's because we went over 1,000.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jay, you want to kind of hold it down up in our neighborhood?
Well, you know, it's either that or somebody in the Royals got Homer.
Glenn, do we need a motion for anything, or is that already?
No, we've already budgeted that, and that's the same request we've had in the past couple of years, so we'll just continue doing that. So.
Next item on the agenda is our public hearing for the 2016 budget. It's open for questions if anybody has any questions or comments for the 2016 budget.
This is a formality, right? I mean, we approved.
Yeah, later on we'll approve the statement. This is our public hearing for the public can get up and make comments or ask questions about our budget. Well, since we have no questions or comments from the public about our budget, we will close our public hearing and go to the next item on the agenda, which is the council meeting on 8-4 and the appropriations 8B. I entertain a motion for the improving the consent agenda in its entirety. Been moved by Councilman Richard that we approve the consent agenda in its entirety. I need a second. Second by Councilman Miller. Is there any further comments or questions? Matt?
My question is the statement of policy on personal appearance, is that a part of the consent agenda, or is that a separate item? Just by the way my packet's put together, it looks like it's.
Actually, I was just going to cover that under my report there. What I was recommending is I don't think we really need to change anything, since that actually has an appearance policy, and that's kind of up to the department heads as it is to allow for personal appearance. I don't think we need to write anything separate that would say shorts are allowed or not or anything of that sort. I don't think we need to be that specific. But I guess back in the day when they wrote this, it kind of anticipates giving that latitude, I guess. I don't know. So that was kind of my first thought, is I don't know if we need to actually outline it.
So what does that mean to you?
That means, like the what Pat Cruz brought as far as shorts at the last meeting. I think those would be appropriate where in some of the departments, but some are going to have some safety issues, whereas the electric crews, and I don't think we'll probably allow that in that part. I think it does give discretion not to allow that.
Reading through this twice, I didn't see that in there anywhere, that they had discretion. If you could point it out, I'd really appreciate it, because I don't see
Okay, all
it.
right. Well, if you wanted more
It just says,
specific.
it just says that if uniforms are provided by the city, they must be worn
Right.
during working hours. That's what I see.
Yeah, and I don't know if we wanted to provide those specific types of shorts or not per department.
You're talking about those khaki shorts.
Right, yeah, that were presented at the last meeting.
And Pat's not here yet.
No.
And I also was wondering about how do they get from shorts to jeans if they have a job that they're gonna, that they have to do, they could get scarred up, because he said something about changing at work.
He
And
did,
I got
yeah.
a little problem with changing clothes and
Yeah, I'm
getting
not
paid for it.
Sure how you accomplish that, but he did say that you could quickly do that. I've never done it myself, so.
You wear baggy jeans and you put them right all over your clothes.
You could, I don't think they'll do that. I really don't, I don't anticipate that. The people I think would be wanting to do this are the road crew and Parks and Rec. The rest of them I don't think would.
As a rule, they're gonna know at the day what they're gonna be required to do, right? I mean, where they
I think though it does change during the day, it can. If you have some emergency that comes up and you gotta switch jobs, you gotta do that, so.
If your department heads are okay with what you're talking about, just changing it like you presented here. To me, that, you know, I look at things a lot different than a lot of people, but I think that can be taken care of between you and your department heads and their employees. They know what's coming up and they know how to be prepared to be handled.
I think
can
it does.
understand
If
why
it- yeah.
some will come up sometime and you're not gonna have the appropriate wear, but you can't plan for everything, I guess.
Right, and if it does become a problem, I think we can come back and revisit it and see how this goes. At least we tried on a trial basis here, we're almost at the end of summer, so I don't know if we'll see shorts this year or not, probably not. Probably something we can do next year and see if there are any problems. If there are, we can revisit that and say that maybe there's some.
Was there a lot of employees wanting to do that?
No, I don't think so.
Pretty.
No. No, not the chief. No.
You look good tonight,
We're
Dave.
gonna- Yeah.
We discussed this last meeting.
Yeah.
Dave, I don't think Bermuda shorts
No,
are sure.
Bermuda shorts or anything of that.
I think it would be well within, good taste.
I think you'd have to trade in that car and get a bicycle if he was.
Well, that-
Well, we could do that
we could do
too,
that.
save money on vehicles.
Let's talk about that.
We could do the bikes, but
Get
that's.
some segways.
I guess to me that in that
Segue.
second paragraph in the statement of policy, city employees should always be well-groomed and dressed in a manner suitable for the public service and reflect favorably the city's image.
Right, 'cause I think we've had issues there in the past when
That to me-
we didn't have uniforms.
Yeah.
And,
I know there was another employer in town that allowed shorts for a while, but then they did away with that policy due to the fact that they just didn't think it was presentable for their employees to be wearing shorts.
I can see our Parks and Rec people working at the pool or something of that nature. I don't think shorts are inappropriate there, but there may be some other places where they are, where they work, so.
Oh, your mower people probably wouldn't want shorts.
No, I think it's,
Weed eaters,
weed
stuff,
eaters, things like that. I think you still need long pants for
Anyway.
safety. And same on the electric side, those guys, only members know.
Well, we have a motion on the floor for approval, a second. Any further comments? Mandy, would you?
Wait a minute. Was this a part of?
No.
This was just information.
Right, that's just information,
Okay,
that's not
that's
part
what
of it. Right, yeah.
Thank you, Lloyd. And we can take a roll call vote, please.
Gingler,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Brown, Latrell,
I'm gonna vote no. Or, I mean, yes on this.
okay,
I'm sorry.
Miller,
Yes.
Audie,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda this evening is ordinance 2169, the standard traffic ordinance.
I have a couple comments on this before you get my sticky notes. What you guys approve every year, we get new updated books. This year they're featuring Manhattan and Lawrence on covers. They are the same. The only changes are the amendments. Just to go over some amendments that would affect the cases that I handle. Public Defense Code, they have passed a bill in which battery against a law enforcement officer now also includes judges and prosecutors who are acting in their official capacity. That's a new thing. And they've also added a section for battery against a school employee, which does happen up here at our Alternative Learning Center. So those are a couple important ones in the Public Defense Code that are new. The Traffic Code, of course, they always tweak the DUI statute. No major changes there. Just some changes, some language. SRS is no longer, so they've changed some things there as far as who does the alcohol evaluations and such. They've added Autocycle. I don't know if any of you guys have seen them. I believe Polaris is one that makes them, or they're the three-wheel. They have two wheels in front, one in back. They're kind of goofy-looking things, but they're called Autocycles. A lot of times they will fall sometimes under motorcycles, sometimes under vehicles, my understanding, depending on what's going on with them. And then the only other kind of change that I deal with a lot is expired registrations. There is now, if you forget to put your decal on your plate and you get pulled over, if you had renewed in time, you have 10 days to bring me that receipt, show me that you renewed in time, you just forgot to put your decal on, and you won't have to, the case will be dismissed. So it doesn't give you a 10-day grace period to go in and pay it, it just gives you a 10-day grace period to get your decal on the car. So we see lots of expired tags in the city. So those are changes. Other than that, you're adopting the same traffic ordinance that we always have, which lists our speed limit restrictions here in the city. And any questions?
So if you strike a teacher, it's the same as if you're striking a police officer?
It's now Class A, right? Whereas that would be considered just battery before, which is a Class B. So it moves it up a level. It's the same level as battery on a law enforcement officer or a judge. Yeah, battery against a teacher, so. Or any school official.
Katie, what dictates what to drive on a public roadway or a highway? Or, like we just passed the deal, we can ride four-wheelers, but they can't be ridden on the highway. What is the regulation for what can be on a highway or public road?
Well, in the city, it's your city ordinances. On the highway, it's state statute. So,
So state statute, whether the highway's inside the city limits or outside.
it's inside the city limits. You have some control over that. That gets, for example, with ATVs, things like that. But when it comes to speed limits on the highways, we have to have a study and then pass an ordinance. So it depends, I guess, is the answer for the highways that run through the city.
Little hikes, outriding these little motorcycles.
Yeah, there's no
Little
regulation.
cars, is there any regulations? I mean, in the street?
No, not to my knowledge. Is that correct? Those little cycles.
At 49 cc and under, there is no statute covering.
You don't have to have a driver's license. Don't have to have.
You don't have to have insurance, registration, or anything.
Okay. Yeah, which is a little scary. Certainly something we could address, particularly for the 18 and under. The 18 and over, I guess, doesn't concern me as much. But
Well, I mean, I'm talking 5, 6.
Yeah.
I saw 2 kids on a little one the other day trying to both ride at the same time, and they couldn't have been over 7 years old. Yeah. So,
Chief? You got a
We have
question?
addressed the 49cc and under before to the council, and nobody, we came up with the ATV ordinance, but we've never addressed 49cc and under.
That's something we need to address?
We get a lot of complaints on children being on those particular things. Initially, it was the little pocket rockets, the little, I mean, you couldn't even see them out of a window of a car. Stuff like that. I mean, it's a safety issue as far as I'm concerned. However, there's no statutes or ordinances covered.
I mean, I could see it in their driveways and on their sidewalks, that when they're getting out in the streets, I mean, that's where
They're not actually made to be ridden on the streets,
No.
and the people who sell you that will tell you you're not supposed to ride them on the streets, but people do it anyway.
That's their
And what they do. So they're not really made to be ridden out, off
Well,
their
it's the
property.
parents' fault.
It actually is. I mean,
No.
this is like, yeah. So, but
I would move that we pass the ordinance 2169, standard traffic ordinance.
I'm second.
Okay, motion's been made by Councilman Audi that we pass, adopt ordinance 2169, standard traffic ordinance, and it was seconded by Councilman Latrell. Is there any further discussion? No further discussion. Manny, would you take a roll call vote, please?
Latrell,
yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Gingler,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Audi,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Motion carries. Next item on the, excuse me.
I have a question for Glenn. For these 2 pages of amortization,
yeah, we'll get to those. Kind of Tom skipped over the rest of mine. Sorry. So we
Go
can do
ahead,
the work
man, you got the
session.
floor.
Yeah. No, that's all right. I mean, let's go through this and we can
cover that, and then when you have your second chance here.
Right. Yeah. That's right.
You might not get a second chance tonight.
You might, yeah, I don't know. It depends on he's chairing the meeting there. So.
That's okay, man.
Yeah, we won't forget any of that. Noted.
Okay. Under my agenda, ordinance 2170, uniform public offense code. Questions or comments? No questions or comments. I entertain a motion to accept ordinance 2170. Been moved by Councilman Latrell. We adopt ordinance 2170, uniform public offense code. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Peterson. Any further discussion?
Are there any major changes?
Just the ones I went over. Yeah, I went ahead and went over at the same time. Public offense code is anything that's not traffic, such as the batteries, things like that.
Okay, no further discussion. Questions? Manny, would you take a roll call vote, please?
Peterson,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Latrell,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Gingler,
Yes.
Audi,
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is Resolution 2015-18, the 2016 state budget. Do you have any questions or comments from council? Good.
I so move.
So moved by Councilman Peterson that we adopt, pass resolution 2015-18, the 2016 state budget. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Blumer. Any further discussion? No further discussion. Mandy, would you take a roll call vote, please?
Richard,
Yes.
Gingler,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Latrell,
Yes.
Audi,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Motion carries. Next item on the agenda, under formal actions, is a belt press pump purchase. That would be the cavity pump, I think.
My question is, how does the trencher compactor fit in this?
I don't know if it does.
Well, it's in your, on your request for council action page, the recommendation.
I see that.
Under fiscal.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Left over from
And
the
do we
last
still,
one.
do we still have that much in there after we bought the
Yeah,
compactor?
Yes.
Yes, that should have read the pump rather than the compactor. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, that's what you get.
Something we gotta have, I move
been moved by Councilman Richards that we approve the purchase of a CPEX progressive cavity pump in about $10,855 plus $250 shipping. Second by Councilman Miller. Any further discussion? No further discussion. Those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same. Motion carried. Next item is closed session. We're not going to have the non-elected personnel information. I'm still waiting on a couple of, a few of the value of the paperwork that was needed. And so we'll have this on at the next meeting. But then, so the next item would be attorney-client privilege information. Closed session, how long?
10 minutes. 10 minutes.
For 10 minutes to include the governing body, Attorney Schroeder, and Administrator Rod. It's been moved by Councilman Adi that we go into closed session, attorney-client privilege for 10 minutes, governing body, Attorney Schroeder, Rod. Second. All in favor? Aye. Say aye. Opposed, same. Go in for 10 minutes.
One of my previous incarnations as a correspondent, about 2000 or so, this whole thing